All right, now we're live.
And we're live. Okay, cool.
So levels look good.
Yeah, levels are good. Of
Yeah. Seriously though, I ain't watching Bleach in a week.
course you can watch Bleach in a week. Well, at least one arc. As long as you remove the filler episode, you can watch one arc of Bleach in a week.
Yeah. And I'll murder you if you say One Piece.
One Piece, I haven't even watched. Like, I dropped out of One Piece a long ass time ago. Like, before they even reached like some kind of barrier where they had a huge fight with a bunch of pirates and stuff. Like, it was weird. It's like I lost track of that a long time ago. Like back when I first moved out of, I moved in with some friends, and then we had some. Like, one of our roommates was keeping up with the new episodes that were releasing, and that was all I heard of it. Because I would come downstairs, he'd be watching an episode, and be like, "Oh, so what's going on here?" He'd give me a brief explanation, and be like, "Okay."
I don't
Things
care.
are crazy because One Piece.
Anyways, hitting that button.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Wait.
Stand by for technical
We're
difficulties.
supposed to have a theme song there, but when you have the video muted, it doesn't work.
Shut up. Ah!
Ooh, this is a great first start. This is how great beginnings are.
Now, come on.
Nope, you're still stuck on the scroller. There you go.
There we go.
And we like this song as it's a show we both are interested in, Initial D, with its amazing Euro beat.
Just let it speak. Welcome to the KiltKast. This is our inaugural episode. So I'm Shep,
And I'm Demyx.
and we're from a panel group called Winning the War in Pants. And we're going to be coming to anime convention near you sometime soon, hopefully. So we decided to do this just so as another way to like talk about various things in anime.
Yeah, it's always a good time to get to know people or be able to throw out more social medias and stuff. Podcast has been a thing that Shep has been looking to do for a while. He's been a big fan of a certain podcast. Should we throw that name out?
No.
No names?
No.
We're not dropping names yet.
No.
Maybe someday.
Yeah. Anyway, so we've had some things that we just want to talk about. Mostly want to talk about anime and us going up to different cons, but other things might come up. So I think the first thing we should talk about is a couple of weeks ago we went to a small college con at Christopher Newport University called KiltKast.
Oh yeah, it was a good time. It wasn't a traditional anime convention in the fact that while it was a college con, and that's how a lot of them got their starts, and it's very college con-like, we didn't spend much time there other than doing our panels. We had 2 panels, we ran them. Other than that, we were at our hotel room or chilling out in town.
Yeah, from what I could tell, it was an actually good con. Y'all should check it out. No other panels besides ours popped out to me, but I did hear that from other people that the panels there were actually very good. Also, the user room was pretty good. When we stopped by, there wasn't much besides that. Saw some interesting cosplay. But yeah, it was a nice little con. So, it wasn't the con itself that was interesting. It was...
Oh yeah, that was the fun part was, it's like we got there, and then we're like, oh, well, we're a little early to check in. We stopped at the hotel to check in, and they said, no, we had to wait. So,
before we get there, I think we're jumping ahead. Let's talk about the trip down.
Oh, the trip down?
Yeah.
It's a little blurry to me, because for me, we started this trip, I started a new job, so I got out of work at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and then got all my stuff together, and then we immediately headed out. Rather than getting sleep on the drive, I decided to stay up for the whole thing. So the whole thing's kind of a blur to me. So what was exactly going down there, Shep?
So yeah, I think the major thing is we were just going down the road, but I messed up.
Oh, yeah. The one thing I asked for just to help me stay awake on the road down was just to stop at Sheetz so I could grab a coffee, but instead, we just tunnel visioned, and we decided to just make the whole trip alone or without any stops, which is fine.
I wanted
Normally
to.
how I do it anyway. It just kind of punished me towards the end of the day when I was lagging so hard because I had no caffeine.
Yeah, I want to get on the road. Desperat's like, we can stop on the way, and then I tunnel visioned, and then like I started hitting 80 miles an hour, just chugging down 95, and yeah, it was.
That's how I normally do it, but it's why I always ask to stop in town because I know Shep's tendency to do that too. So I always push for a stop before the trip really gets going, but that's fine. It was no big deal.
Yeah, so we get into town. We locate everything. Before the trip, I chose the hotel we stayed at because it looked nice, the reviews were okay, and it was dirt cheap. I should have but how
there is dirt cheap.
Yeah, I should have realized that how cheap the hotel was. That a Motel 6 would have been better
Which was right next door.
and cheaper.
Yeah, but no. We got some recommendations away from there as well while we were staying there, which we'll get into later.
So we weren't able to check in yet. We had breakfast at
At
some.
that point, what, it was like 11?
Yeah, we had brunch at some hole in the wall.
Yeah, it was a pretty nice hole in the wall, though.
Yeah, then we checked in, saw some interesting things in the room.
Oh, yeah, I used to work, my dad does construction stuff, so I did my construction worker mind went off, and I was looking at all the stuff in the room like, okay, this is terrible work, and everything else. It happens every time I walk into a room. That's why I always have a terrible time at hotels. Like, I can be there just fine, but my mind is like judging everything, and it goes off, especially at low rate, cheap hotels and stuff. And
Or obvious water damage.
Yeah, there was water damage, terrible patched water damage in the bathroom. It was god awful.
Or lack of liner on the shower curtain.
Yeah, which we later found out wasn't, somebody stole the shower curtain, which I imagined at first because it was a bit of cheap of a hotel. But no, they just didn't have shower liners in their bathrooms and anywhere. And that was something we found out. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's a thing.
Yeah. After that, we checked out a comic book shop and
after we ate our meal, we found there was a comic book store right next door that just opened. Just opened right at that time because we finished our meal, and so we took a quick stop in there. Which reminds me, I do need to grab those comics I grabbed for Shaggy.
Yeah.
Found some Scooby Apocalypse comics.
Because that's a thing.
Because that's a thing. It needs to exist.
Yeah. We also went to a store that's like tabletop gaming and manga and anime and comics, which was awesome. But
if you're a nerd, that was like a one-stop shop for everything.
The location wasn't great. I'm pretty convinced most of Newport News is either Christopher Newport University or ghetto at this point.
Yeah, that's what it seemed to be to me.
But it was the way the setup was great. We both picked up a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
And then we stopped by the con, got our badges, made sure everything was cool.
But back to that store for a bit. It's like, it has so much potential. Like, if it wasn't so run down, like, it's got such good space usage and everything, and I was, like, really impressed by it other than the fact that it was a bit run down, because everything in Newport News seems to be a bit run down. But, like, it has such potential if it had a crowd and everything. But we went there right after our breakfast in the morning before we checked into our hotel.
On a work day.
Yeah.
So, after that, eventually we get back to the hotel room after checking in with the con and everything, and we just hang out, discuss the panels, playing out Saturday. Then we go to bed because we're all exhausted.
Oh yeah,
and we don't sleep.
Long day, and I hadn't slept in close to 24 hours at that point, so.
Yeah, and in the middle of the night, I just hear yelling.
Yeah, that was the fun part. The first fun part of the trip. I put quotations around that fun there. But, yeah, so, James, I don't know how heavy Shep sleeps there, but he was
I grew up in Southside Richmond, back when it was a bad part of town. I didn't sleep through anything.
Yeah. But, So he was sleeping through most of it, and he snores a bit. So there was his snoring, which was negligible compared to this. And for those who know Shep or have been part of our group, he doesn't snore quietly. But we found out the hard way, this is a bit of a trap hotel, and there were some shady characters in the room next to us who had a 4-hour-long argument. Screaming between each other.
Like, I start to pop back out of REM sleep here screaming and just like, this is
terrible.
still effing going on.
Like at that point, I had a few coffees and stuff, so it's like I had some caffeine. It had been a while, but like I had just been like, okay, my body's kind of awake now. I got a few hours earlier of sleep. So it was 11:30, and I didn't actually get to go back to sleep till almost 4 a.m. because that's when I was finally able to either pass out or go to sleep because it got quiet enough. That was terrible. But I think that was about the only bad experience at the convention.
Well, it was just the hotel.
The whole trip was that experience in the hotel. It's like the hotel itself was like, but it's what you get.
Yeah, you get what you pay for.
And then it was just that experience was actually the only real negative part of the trip.
So next morning I get up. Within walking distance is a Waffle House, and where we live there are no Waffle Houses. You can say what you want about Manassas being redneck. There are no Waffle Houses in Manassas. You have to go to frickin' Dumfries. Hey, it's a nice neighborhood, Dumfries, to go to a fucking Waffle House. So I go to a Waffle House. I had a great time. I tried to get Demyx up, but he didn't sleep.
Yeah, I didn't get much sleep, so I was just out for it. So I finally got up when he got back.
So for like $20, I got this massive spread. I got waffles. I got T-bone steak and eggs. I got hash browns smothered and covered. I was a happy person. I brought Demyx back some hash browns. For some reason, he just wanted plain hash browns, but
I'm a simple man with simple needs.
But you at least gotta get your hash browns scattered, smothered, and covered.
I don't like gravy.
No, that's something different. Smothered and covered is onions and cheese.
I don't need all that. I'm a simple man. I like my hash browns to be hash browns, and that's all I need.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm trying to think of everything we did today. We did go to the con. We did go to, for lunch, we usually try to go to places local to try to support the local economy.
Yeah, it's like, there's chains and stuff, but we try to avoid chains if at all possible because it's like, it's like, it's a standard thing, it's a safe bet, but we're not trying to get safe bets, we're trying to find decent food at places with, like, local businesses and stuff, because you never know when you're going to be back there again, and you never know if you find something amazing, that every time you go back there, you'll want to visit it again. So that's what we always shoot for.
Anyways, unfortunately, we went somewhere that there's a lot of. That's actually two chains put together, but we don't have in Manassas, although they're around in the area. We went to the KFC. We went to the Taco Bell. We went to the combination KFC and Taco Bell. And I was fat.
Yep. I just got my usual. I got popcorn chicken and mashed potatoes for me, but I'm a simple man with simple tastes.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I got tacos and KFC stuff. I think I had the Nashville Hot. No, did I? I had one of those flavors. I'm not sure if it was the Smoky Mountain or the Nashville Hot or the Georgia Gold. One of those.
I don't know. I wasn't paying.
It wasn't Georgia Gold because I would have done the Ric Flair shtick from God damn it! What's the thing WWE did in parody? It doesn't matter.
You're the WWE person here, so.
Anyway,
you're the wrestling fan.
So then we went to the con. We had a good run of our FMP panel, which we're going to talk more about FMP later. Then we went back. At this point, we just chilled in the hotel room and watched Lucky Star, which I hadn't seen in a long time.
And I hadn't seen ever. And I knew
because
James was a bit of a fan of it, or Shep.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But, my real name is James. Okay.
No.
Nathan.
Shut up. It's a secret. But yeah, so I knew he was a fan of Lucky Star, so I was like, hey, we could watch some Lucky Star because I knew he brought it with him. So
Yeah,
We
literally
a lot of Lucky Stars, so we just got to see a lot of parody, or not necessarily parody, but references all over.
a lot of moe.
So much moe.
Imagine Seinfeld if one of the characters is a massive otaku. That's Lucky Star. Actually, I made that decision that morning because I was going through my laptop. I was like, I had thrown that in after Ichiban Con because I bought it at Ichiban Con. And it stayed in. I hadn't unpacked that bag except to pull my laptop out. I'm putting my laptop back in, and I see it's just like, oh, let's watch it in the room.
It's a great way to pass the time. So we watch an anime at an anime convention.
Who does that anymore? Which is funny because that's what anime conventions were originally founded to do. To get a bunch of people in a room and watch anime because...
So it was streamed, it was like in Japan and not the West. So the West did it by people recording it on their VHSs, bringing it to one location, and everyone goes to that one location.
Or tape trading like they used to do during the territory days of wrestling.
Ah, the roots of anime conventions. Dark times.
Before we were born.
Well before.
Anyways, so we did that. Then I went to effing bed because my job is early in the morning, so I just passed out.
And mine is through early in the morning, so I was still good from my sleep and everything else. So I was like, well, my body doesn't want to go to sleep yet.
And I wake up and I hear tales of bull riding.
Oh yeah, because though I didn't tell you exactly where. I don't remember if I told you.
You said some sort of nightclub with Jello shots and bull riding.
Yeah, apparently, because it was all. Remember, at this point, we say a couple weeks ago, but it was St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
So, a friend of mine was down in Norfolk.
Hold on. Just, I did drink. I was in work mode, so yeah, I was boring.
Yeah, so I had a friend that I hadn't talked to in a while who was down in Norfolk. And they're like, oh yeah, just come here. I had no idea where I was going. And keep in mind, I've never had a drop of alcohol in my life. So I just go to hang out and have a good time with friends. And it ends up being PBR, like this apparently world famous cowboy bar in Norfolk in what's called The Market.
Because professional bull riding has everything to do with St. Patrick's Day.
I mean, it's alcohol. It's like, it says it's a bar, it's a cowboy bar, but it's essentially a nightclub. They got DJs and like kind of remixed, not really remixed country music. It's just kind of cut, and it was a good time.
That's most honky tonks these days.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was just so packed because it was St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. I love St. Patrick's Day, but I try not to go to bars on St. Patrick's Day because it's amateur hour.
I'm an amateur.
You don't even compete.
That's true.
So, anyways, we wake up, and on our way out the door, we see that, one of our friends actually works at the hotel.
Yeah, and this is where we got a lot of our insider information on this hotel. Which will still remain unnamed. I just say we'll remain unnamed.
Yeah. Be careful which hotel you stay at in Newport News.
Yeah. There's a few chains that you'd probably be better off staying at, like Holiday Inn or
you should have stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Like Holiday Inn Suites or whatever, but that one was probably much better maintained and more reputable.
It was also twice as expensive.
But that's what you pay for.
Yes.
I'm okay with staying at the Trap Hotel as long as it's cheap. But that's just me.
Okay.
But yeah, so we saw our friend who happened to work at there, and so we ended up spending, 2 hours almost?
Yeah. Shooting the breeze.
It's a great time to catch up with another friend.
I haven't seen Ash in years.
Yeah, like it's been quite a while. Like I think AUSA or maybe the previous year AUSA.
Yeah, not this AUSA. Not that storm.
Oh yeah.
We're not gonna get into.
We had missed that one. That was part of the things we talked about. There was a whole thing about that, but So we finally get back to the con to run our final panel because we had one panel on Saturday and one panel on Sunday.
We literally ran the last panel at the con.
Last panel of the day. Was it 2 to 3 or 3 to 4?
Something like that.
I think it was 3 to 4.
It was 3 to 4.
I think both of them were.
Yeah. Yeah, so we ran our Evangelion panel, which is controlled chaos,
Yeah.
and not that controlled.
We had 2 people, then dwindled down to 1 person. But despite having 1 person, like it still ran amazingly well. It was one of the best performances we've had for the Ava panel, and definitely the best small audience because he was our audience member. Solo was very
really
engaged,
into it,
and we just got to talk about whatever he wanted to talk about and whatever we want to talk about. It was just a bunch of back and forth, and it was a great time.
Yeah, our Ava panel is just a big conversation. It works better with more people because there are more voices.
Mm-hmm.
But this was like, this person wasn't just killing time. He stayed all the way to the end of the con
He was there
to
because
see
he
us.
wanted to be there, not because he needed something to do.
And it hurts that no one came to the panel, but you gotta expect that for the last panel of the day.
Yeah.
But it warms the cockles to say, hey, this guy was excited about what we were talking about.
Mm-hmm. Very much. And yeah, just to give you a little bit of an idea, for anybody who doesn't know or has never been to our Evangelion debate panel,
It's called I Mustn't Run Away, I Mustn't Run Away, I Mustn't Run Away.
Yeah. But, if you've been to an anime panel before, or a panel at most conventions, people have a PowerPoint presentation.
There's a lot
to that
of
effect, where they've got something on screen that looks nice and they've done their work and everything. And then there's our Evangelion panel. We literally open a window on the computer.
We have everything in a folder. We open up that folder. We have a sheet of notes about where we want to go. We often discard that sheet of notes and go, what weird places.
Yeah, and that folder is just full of images and videos of Evangelion-related stuff that mostly just shit posting where we're just like, hey, here's a funny image. Hey, here's a funny video. Here's a funny video we made.
There's a lot of real information. We've done some research into this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of memes.
Mostly, the most info stuff we have is info on Anno. Interesting info that a lot of people don't know, but hopefully with our panel we've been increasing that percentage of people who know. Granted, not much, because we know we're not that big yet.
Yeah, we've also there's some more info stuff that I had to cut out of that folder just because we never bring it up. We never talk about the religion or the psychology of Evangelion.
Oh, yeah.
Except when talking about Anno. There's more we can get into that, but it just never seems to come up.
Mm-hmm. So what's our next topic here?
After that,
after we got back from KiltKast, shortly, was it next week? Yeah, it's like that Wednesday.
You're eating pizza.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so that Wednesday after we got back from the convention, another member of our panel group, Luke, went with Shep. I believe he asked you to take him?
No.
Or you asked him to go?
What had happened was I went to something like a week or two before. I go to a lot of movies at this one theater.
Shep likes to go to
the Angela Film Center Mosaic in the Mosaic District in Merrifield.
Yeah.
They show a lot of anime films. They show a lot of geeky films that you can't see.
He likes to see those nice geeky films in the big screen.
They also show a lot of classic films. And I think what happened was I went to a showing of Raiders of the Lost Ark, which
that was the one.
That was a mistake. Because as much as I love Raiders of the Lost Ark, I go there and it's filled with parents trying to show their 10-year-olds how great a movie this is and how great a franchise this was before they nuked the fridge. So I just wanted to go there and drink and get S-face and have a good time, and there's just kids, and I end up only having 2 beers because I was like, I'm an adult, I have to behave in front of these kids.
Oh, I didn't know that one. That's unfortunate.
So, coming out, I see that, they're doing a showing of the Free movie, so I call Luke because I know he loves Free, and I hate Free. I mean, it's a good show.
He doesn't hate Free because of any kind of quality issue or anything to do with the anime itself. He hates it because of what could have been and what should have been based on the context clues, and then ended up being Free. I'll let Shep go into that one.
Oh my god. So, back when Free first came out, there were rumors that Kyoto Animation, was going to do this new series. There were also rumors that Full Metal Panic had something new coming out sometime soon. Kyoto Animation had taken over the Fullmetal Panic anime franchise after Gonzo didn't do a great job with the first season. Kyoto Animation also is better known for moe crap. Lucky Star, FMP Fumofu, K-On! So, it's like, well, what's it going to be? Is this going to be FMP, more FMP? No, it's free. Not only free is essentially moe crap, except it's Fujiyoshi bait moe stuff.
Yep.
And
Needless to say, he was a little peeved at it.
I threw things when they announced that when they announced free.
He was waiting for mech battles and Soviet plots and everything. He was waiting for Cold War hard tactics and stuff. And he gets Yuri on Ice type swimming. It was terrible.
Yeah.
For him.
Free's actually pretty funny.
For me, it was a great laugh. I actually laughed at him a number of times. I still sometimes poke fun at him because I like to do that kind of thing with him.
But I like anime in the theater. Even though I hadn't seen any of Free up until that point, I gave Luke a call and was like, "Hey, do you want to go see Free?" And Luke said, "Sure." So we go the Wednesday after KeigaCon, and we show up, and I knew it was going to be bad because it's like Fujiyoshi everywhere. People were hanging over the railings in front of their seats. They were placing proudly their documenturas of the male characters from the show.
Yep, because that's the kind of fandom you can do with Free.
Now, the movie was actually pretty good. It was funny, but the entire time I'm just like, why am I here?
You're going to see a visual representation of, hey, this is actually a pretty good thing to consume. It's like a good show, good movie, good whatever. And then you see the fan base, in this case, literally right next to it. You're like, movie, fan base, movie, fan base. Why are you like this, fan base?
Now, I like things outside despite the fan base being crap.
I mean, that's kind of how you have to be with most fan bases.
I am a big fan of Axis Powers Italia. I'm a big fan of Axis Powers Italia because I'm a history nerd. I hate the fan base. I hate the fan base so much. I stopped cosplaying characters from Axis Powers Italia because I hate the fan base.
I think years back, the Italia fan base was second only to like the Homestuck fan base in terms of like size and awkward.
When we first got into like going to cons, it was like Homestuck 1, Italia 1A, and it was like now Italia has gone down dramatically, but
still there. Now it's a little more still small. So now you're like, oh, here's that one thing. Rather than like 20,000 people doing it, you're like, oh, it's only a small handful doing it. So that's more cute and adorable than annoying and overdone.
Yeah, this is during the era of like Meta Nation panels, which
It's gone beyond overdone and come full circle.
I think the best example of the Italia fan base though was our friends at Manly Battleships went to a someone else doing a Ask a Nation panel, and they started asking the various characters real history questions, like asking Poland how it feels not existing.
I forgot about this story.
At one point, though, Panda, their shameless leader, because he does have fear, we can't say fearless. Our Panda goes and turns to Forba, another one of their members, who's a character.
He is quite the character.
And just points at us like, what do you think of him? And they drag him forward like a piece of meat, and they all give their opinions of him. And Forba is pissed.
As Panda tends to do, he loves to antagonize Forba. One of the things he's done is create a Facebook fan club for him. So you should all look it up. The Forba fan club on Facebook. Forba, Forba fan club. So look that up on Facebook and join it because he hates it. And it's something everybody needs to like.
So, anyways, we see Free's actually good. Then Saturday,
And we just had a huge tangent there.
yeah,
How we do.
Saturday, me and Demyx went to go see Pacific Rim.
This past Saturday, so a week later.
Yeah, we my Saturday started out was I was supposed to go see the Sailor Moon musical. My grandfather told me, no, you need to help me move stuff because you need to do something manly in your life for once.
Yeah.
I ended up seeing the Sailor Moon musical later anyway, but then we went and saw Pacific Rim.
Yeah, Pacific Rim Uprising. Which I found out a few interesting facts from Shep after the movie. Is like, I didn't realize, but John Boyega. It's like it was actually a hard time for me piecing it together that he was Finn from Star Wars, because I wasn't thinking about that the entire movie. I was thinking of him as his own person.
You didn't realize that was Finn from Star Wars doing an accent?
I didn't actually, but it was a good performance, and I appreciated it without knowing he was Finn, so I didn't have any preconceptions and, oh, he's already a good person, good actor and stuff, so I'm going to appreciate this because it's his work. It's like, no, it was good work because it was good work. And he poured his Star Wars money to get the movie finished because it had funding issues, because it wasn't a political hack of a film that...
Well, it was more...
Hollywood sucks, by the way.
Well, it was more that, it didn't do... It was liked, but it wasn't a big financial success last time. So they they didn't want to take a risk on another big CGI thing that wasn't going to print money. Like, Transformers sucks, but it prints money every time. So they keep pumping them out. That's why it was a financial risk.
So that I think is Hollywood's excuse.
Yeah. Anyways, outside that, it was a financial risk. The last one didn't do so hot domestically. This one didn't. This one was like, it was on the border, but they couldn't get the money to do it. And then John Boyega's like, "Hey, I have this Star Wars money. Do you want Guillermo del Toro to finish this movie?" And John
Boyega was a huge fan of the first one. He's like, "I want to see this one completed."
And so he becomes the main character.
And he does an amazing job at it.
And it was a really good movie, but you could see, like, oh, this was supposed to be a big battle. There was supposed to be a big battle here. They had to cut it because of budget
issues. Yeah, it was a bit of a short movie. Was it barely over not even 2 hours? I think it was 110 minutes.
Yeah,
it wasn't even hit the 2 hour mark. I could have pushed it closer to 3 hours with the extra plots and stuff.
Dear Hollywood, make shorter movies. They're better. You don't have to be a long epic. As much as I love Seven Samurai, I fall asleep during it. I can only watch it in pieces.
And that's also how you get these terrible marathons like Lord of the Rings. Not terrible because they're bad movies, but terrible because they're just so long. Oh, you want to watch the Lord of the Rings extended trilogy? Or now you can watch The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings, and you'll be there for like close to 24 hours and stuff, and the same thing with
even
Harry
more.
Potter. Like, these movies are getting so long. It's not terrible, because the movies can still be good, but
not terrible.
But you're setting yourself up for
speak
failure
for yourself.
With trying to make longer and longer movies, because you're just going to run out of stuff to do, and you're going to end up with these drag out things that's nothing going on except for a few moments.
I mean, there are long movies that don't feel long because they're well paced. And there's things happening. Every moment matters. There are just other movies where just like, oh, this is an art scene. They're trying to get an Oscar. God damn it.
See, they should just do shorter movies. Like the good old Jimmy Neutron movie. That one was nice and short. Or an example of an actual good short movie that was made during some kind of Hollywood drought. I don't know how Hollywood works and how Hollywood history is, but Dr. Horrible's sing-along vlog. Very short movie, like 40 minutes or something, but that one is amazing for what it is.
No.
You say that. It was a great time. Nathan Fillion, and yeah, that's all you need to know.
Anyways, after that,
we'll talk about Pacific Rim.
Speaking of long, drawn-out experiences, so Monday, I went to the Sailor Moon musical.
Oh yeah, how was that?
That was a 3-hour ordeal.
Only 3 hours?
Well, I forget, musicals are five acts, so they're usually a little bit longer than a movie. There are short 5-act things like McScottish play. But this was a 5-act ordeal. It was good. The music was good. there were things that were weird, but that's because you're adapting an anime where anything can happen to the stage.
Are you sure it wasn't just because Sailor Moon's weird? Not saying it's bad. There's plenty weird about. You can't deny there's weird stuff going on in Sailor Moon.
Yeah. There were the usual Sailor Moon things. One thing to note: musical, except for a couple of scenes, usually has an all-female cast. But
Hold the theater traditions of men playing women in this?
No, look, but like in reverse, Tuxedo Mask. Like you can tell that Tuxedo Mask is played by a woman, but that she convincingly plays the sexiest man in the room that even the guys fall for.
Well, that's how it goes, though.
And I'm just sitting there, like, okay, I get what you're putting down.
Unless you're someone like Nathan Fillion or Neil Patrick Harris, you're gonna have a hard time fulfilling that role if you're not a woman.
And so there were a couple of annoying people in the audience, but that's okay. So it's like 2.5 hours, and then there's a half hour because they did a different musical for every arc, and this was the musical dealing with the last arc of the anime. They went and did all the other songs from all the other musicals.
Ooh, that's a draw.
And it was like 45 minutes of that, and by the end of it, I was just like, that was a good time, but I'm exhausted, and I just want to go to bed.
Oh yeah, because that was late at night, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a 7 o'clock showing.
Oh yeah, damn, that's...
And I get up
that hit you at the night, yeah.
And I get up at 4 in the morning.
Yeah. Back to Pacific Rim, though, there was a few moments in it that... talking about music, there was a few nice things. They threw some internet references out there. You get John Boyega getting some ice cream in the barracks or whatever, and he does the Salt Bay with sprinkles onto his ice cream. So he's just sitting there with the raised arms sprinkling sprinkles onto his ice cream. And then as they launch into combat, one of the pilots is Russian, and he's listening to he's not playing any other songs. He's playing the video with the Russian guy singing the troll song.
Yes,
and it's amazing. It's such a good time. Part of it, I just love this movie. It's like I'm a fan of mech anime and everything mech. So when Pacific Rim came out, I loved it. Pacific Rim Uprising, I still love it. It's like I'm not saying it's the most amazing thing, but I'm saying it's good. Everybody should give it a shake.
There are also some other things like the mechs are going crazy. The mechs designed to replace the pilot mechs are going crazy. Hello, Jet Alone from Evangelion.
Yeah.
The mechs are actually the aliens that they're fighting. Hello, Evangelion.
Yeah, it's like not only did you get an Evangelion reference, you got 2 Evangelion references.
You got
the same things. It's like,
Evangelion references throughout.
And then rampaging mass-produced Evangelions because they're like, hey, we made drones, guys. Cool. The drones are the bad guys now. Okay, not cool. The drones have broken everybody's defense forces. This can only get better.
You do realize that the original Pacific Rim stole so many things from Evangelion that Guillermo del Toro at the end of it said gave a special thanks to Hideki Anno for making Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I mean, like, you control them with your mind and you have to do like mental syncing. That's from Evangelion. The female lead from the original series, who's the leader now. In the original series, she's kind of Shinji, kind of Rei.
Yeah, but back then, I watched Evangelion, but now we've run the Eva panel so much, and I was also watching the movie with you, so it was like, I had reasons like, hey, this looks like, is that a motherfucking Evangelion reference?
Oh, speaking of references to anime, at one point one of the sets of pilots, they get defeated and they get out of their mech. And where did they come out of? In front of a Gundam statue.
Yeah, that was a moment. They were in Japan, so
because aliens attacking Japan.
Not just Japan, Mount Fuji specifically.
Yeah, it was checking the mecha anime checkbox all over the
mecha
place.
anime, that's a kaiju thing. Oh,
Yeah.
the monster's coming out of Mount Fuji.
Yeah.
And they even take the kaiju name. Traditional Japanese name for monster.
Yeah. So,
All in
yeah.
all, Pacific Rim Uprising, solid movie.
Definitely at least 3 out of 5.
Yeah. I would watch it again. I would recommend that most people give it a try because it's a solid movie. But I know it's been overshadowed by the summer blocks of movies coming out. You got all the new Marvel movies coming. You got Black Panther that already just came out.
You also have Dot Hack, the American movie.
I didn't know about that one.
Ready Player One.
Oh, Ready Player One. Oh, I knew about that one. It's actually
Yeah.
out in theaters already.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna see it either tonight or tomorrow sometime.
Okay.
I wanted to read the book first, but I just pushed it off. But like 80s movies, Iron Giant fighting the Ark, Send him 7 Gundam. It's like, okay, even if this is a bad movie, I gotta check it out.
Yeah. It's almost like they thought Kung Fury went over well, so they're like, hey, let's do this on a bigger scale.
Well, Kung Fury was like a tribute to 80s the 80s action movies. Ready Player One takes a lot of things from that era, but it's more of a modern story.
Yeah, but they realize now that the nostalgia
sells, yes.
Yeah, nostalgia sells. So it's actually kind of nice that they realize that because it's a nice thing to see.
I mean, even freaking political stuff is getting nostalgia, selling on nostalgia. I mean, they did a conservative Roseanne revival. It's like, that's like 80s and 90s right there. Politicized.
Okay.
So next on the agenda, I don't know what anime this is, but I just have Demyx Roller Skate Rage.
Yeah.
So I know you've been raging about some anime because they did roller skating wrong.
It's not that I even did roller skating wrong because it was just wheels, but it was the fact that it was the first thing I saw, which peeved me. But
For disclosure,
for a bit of backstory on this part, my first job was at a roller rink, and I've always been pretty good at skating. And then I played roller derby, and ever since I've been looking for anime of some kind that has not roller blades, but like roller skates, the quad skates, the 2x2 skates for their wheels in anime. Granted, everyone always says Air Gear. Air Gear's rollerblades, except for Fatty Bucha, who does have the quads, but he is a very large black man, and I cannot play that because my body is not that large in either muscle or just a big belly. So I can't do that body-wise or skin tone-wise. And other than that, that's been a peeve of mine for the longest time, for years and years.
And I've kept an eye out for Demyx, as I come across the anime. I tried recommending Nanoha Strikers to Demyx, and then I realized, the character that's on skates is on blades, not quads.
Because rollerblades are the cool thing, and that's what everybody's into, or was into back then. But this one, it was a new Netflix show. It was called Aiko Incarnation. It was a bit of a sci-fi tech thing, set in like a kind of modern age, but they're kind of in the middle of an apocalypse because they're dabbling in essentially what's forbidden technology. Like they've crossed the line essentially, and the artificial body they produce caused a bit of an apocalypse, which they just call it malignant matter. So matter explosion, everything else. So it's an interesting plot and everything. And the anime overall was okay, but in the first 20 seconds of the show, it's like, okay, Netflix intro. So Netflix intro included in that 20 seconds. So maybe like 10 seconds into the actual anime itself, you see some of the main cast, who you find out later are part of the main cast. They're like, they're in their armor and they've got their weapons and they're strolling through this corridor. And I'm like, oh, cool, they're on wheels. And then I look at it. There's 3 wheels, 1 in the front, 2 in the back, and I just flew off the rail at that point. It was like 4 a.m. I instantly made a Facebook post and I was like, God damn it, I can't find a motherfucking rollerblade anime to save my life, or skating anime to save my life. And I was just like, it just threw me over the edge. The anime overall was a good time, but not necessarily my cup of tea. Still a good anime. Netflix does another solid anime. Woo! Go Netflix.
They have to be sitting on a giant pile of money that they just occasionally dole out, but the rest of the time just like dive into like Scrooge McDuck over at Netflix.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, because that's what everybody does in their free time now.
Netflix has, and that's what they're doing. They've got so many good, not just the anime either. Netflix is just coming out with Netflix original series after Netflix original series. Despite whether or not they're coming up with original ideas or just getting licenses for whatever else, they're doing a good job with what they're doing.
They're even doing movies now.
Yeah,
I mean, Bright was actually a pretty good movie. It wasn't great, but it was decent.
It was a good take on modern fantasy.
Yeah. Urban fantasy. Plus Will Smith finally being Will Smith for the first time in ages.
Oh yeah. Finally, another good Will Smith movie.
We're gonna do a titty bar gunfight.
You wanna die in a titty bar gunfight? Fine, we're gonna titty bar gunfight, die.
Okay. So next on the agenda, I used to be a Revolutionary War reenactor. I love the Fate franchise. I've played Fate's Day Night. I've only played 2 of the arcs of Fate's Day Night because whenever I play whatchamacallit, Heaven's Feel, I always forget that you have to go shopping with Ilya, and then I die 3 days later and I throw my computer into the wall.
Oh yeah. I've never played it, but a couple of Luke and Shep have played through it, and I've heard enough about it to know how rage-inducing it was without knowing, and then finally figuring it out and being like, that was it? That was the moment!
I've played Tsukahime. I've played Melty Blood. I've played bits of Hollow Ataraxia. I love Fate Zero. I play Fate Grand Order intermittently. However, they just released a new chapter of Fate Grand Order set during the American Revolution, my favorite era of history. And I'm afraid to play it.
And is that because you're worried they're not going to do it right?
Well, there's that, but I understand it's Fate. They're going to do alternate character interpretations. I mean, King Arthur's a chick.
George Washington's probably going to end up as a woman, right?
That's like I'm not so much
With a wife.
I'm not so much afraid of that. And you could do things with that. What I'm afraid is they're starting to turn everybody into saber faces.
George Washington Saberface. That's how it's going to be, right?
Emperor Nero, one of the cruelest emperors in history, and Fate Extra. Oh, looks like Saber. Okita Soji, one of the most celebrated members, was the most celebrated swordsman in Japanese history. Oh, that's Sakura Saber. I don't want that to happen to some of my personal heroes.
New character models, and they stick with what sells, and Saber sells.
Yeah, it's always fun to know like something new Fate is coming out because you're just like, oh, time to sexualize Saber again.
Yay!
So I'm afraid. I want to play it because I think I'll enjoy it, but I also don't want to have to buy a new phone because I've thrown it into the wall.
Gonna give him some more history porn, and then he realizes George Washington's a woman, Saberface, and he's like, wow, now it's giving me actual history porn.
Yeah. So next up is finally, I've been waiting for years. I got free instead, and I didn't want free. A 4th season of Full Metal Panic's coming out. Will you finally watch Full Metal Panic and Demyx?
Yeah, I'll watch it. It's not that I've been avoiding Full Metal Panic, but it's just something I haven't gotten around to. I've generally stuck with Gundam or other mech shows that have just been there in my face. I've been
Gundam except Universal Century.
I've trolled around the internet looking for the mech animes that I want to watch. I actually tried but I started to. I just dropped off. I need to keep going on my. What was it? I'm trying to go through Gundam in chronological order, not like chronological of release date, but like their universal chronology, and it's Trying to get through a Gundam timeline is. Ugh. But there's plenty of resources saying, yeah, this is a Gundam timeline, this is a Gundam timeline. So have no shortage of people saying this is the proper list. So I've got plenty of material to go off of.
So we're finally
By the time I pick up Full Metal Panic.
So Full Metal Panic: Invisible Victory comes out April 13th, and this is actually gonna be the first show I watch while it's coming out. Because it's gonna cover the parts of the light novels where it gets interesting. Where like Mithril's defeated and Margaram starts taking over the world and captures Kaname and makes her think that Sosuke's dead. I'm excited.
Sosuke's never dead. Sosuke can't die.
Bullshit. I mean, I don't know if I haven't gotten that far in the light novels, but bullshit, he's the main character. It ends if he's not there.
Yeah, that's why he won't die. One, he's the main character, and two, he's a badass. From what I've seen of Full Metal Panic.
Well, he's hero.
Well, unfortunately, most of what I've seen is Full Metal Panic from Ofu, which is the joking one, which is just Moe, Blob, and everything else. And it's like,
it's more than Moe Blob.
Yeah, it's more than Moe Blob, but there's a lot of Moe in it. One of my favorite scenes was the one where it's like, oh, look, a gang captured Kaname. And then he rolls up into the warehouse and like, hey, disarm. And he's like, okay, I'll disarm. 10 minutes later, and literally a mountain of guns and weapons, and they're all like sweating bullets and like crapping their pants because he's like, where did he keep all this? And what the hell? How does this guy have all this stuff?
By the way, it feels like Kaname's like gets kidnapped more often than Mamoru Chiba. And it takes talent to be kidnapped more often than fucking Tuxedo Mask. So, yeah, I'm excited. One thing we've been doing is we're both getting back into Warhammer 40k. That's one thing that's consuming our lives.
Yeah, it's a vastly different brand of nerd than anime and gaming and stuff, but it's a wargaming tabletop.
I'm pretty sure everybody who would listen to this podcast knows what 40k is.
If you don't know it by the game, you know it by its video game franchises and stuff, because it's been coming out with a lot more digital content rather than just the standard war game.
Well, it's an interesting universe.
It is an interesting universe. So even if you don't want to play the game itself, there's a lot of good books to read.
Although they did some things to the universe that have pissed me off. KDFL. That has gotten me totally pissed off. But it's interesting. Things can't stay the same forever.
Chaos happens, man.
Fuck you. Anyways.
No, that's Slanesh.
Which is part of chaos.
I know.
So you're repeating yourself.
Yeah, but I was being more specific there. Chaos Prince of Pleasure, I believe, or Demon Lord of whatever that chaos hierarchy is.
Although, it's fun. Slanesh is awesome because Doom Rider is a Slaneshi's noise marine. And Doom Rider is awesome. Anyway, so we're gonna come up with a segment for future episodes called we're gonna call it Golden Age Anime Reviews. And we're defining the Golden Age as like, I'm sure everybody looks back to like when they were a kid as like the Golden Age, but there was a time period where anime started to blow up in this country before Endless 8 killed it all.
Yeah, we're talking about like the West's intro to anime rather than like a Golden Age.
Well, not intro to anime, but more like...
Intro, but like the mainstream accessibility of anime to the West. Which is, it was a big time for us. We had Toonami, we had like Adult Swim at night was where most of us had it, but then it started becoming had a little more during the day and people were watching things, and it was that time period where
ADV was still
a thing. It was childhood or young adulthood for a lot of people, but it was a good time for anime, and that's what we're going to be trying to review.
Yeah, like
so,
back when
Age anime reviews.
Back when ADV was still a thing, when Geneon was still a thing here in the West, when Bandai North America was still putting out releases here in the West.
Funimation had a actual channel on.
Not just Funimation, but Anime Network was started by ADV and was an actual TV channel, not a streaming service.
Yeah.
Which
I think Funimation might have hung on a little longer, but
Yeah, there was also um they also they made an English language version of New Type magazine, which if you know anything about anime in Japan, New Type is like the magazine about anime in Japan.
No, I don't know anything about anime in Japan, but neat. Good to know.
Then why are you doing it? Why are you part of a panelist group, Demyx?
I don't know how it is in Japan and what the mainstream magazines and all those references are for like people in Japan in the East. I just know how it works in the West here because that's what most of us filthy weebs who go to conventions are.
So, anyway, so we're kind of picking from that era. So I think we need to lay some ground rules. Like anything shonen, we only do an arc.
Yeah. So yeah,
I ain't watching all of
Bleach,
One Piece.
That's what we were talking about because we were going over when we had our banter before the show really began. Was we were talking about Bleach and One Piece because we were talking about this last segment here right before we started. Of what can we do? We could do an arc, but we're gonna cut the fillers and stuff.
I also think that if we do like 25 episodes, we split into two. Anything more than one season that if it's only 2 seasons of 14, we can do we split into 2. But anything else, we only do a season.
No.
Anything.
Does it have to be canon sources or a canon creation?
What do you mean?
I'm thinking of one thing in particular related to a panel we've done a lot. Evangelion Redeath.
Evangelion. We're not going to do Evangelion Redeath. I love Evangelion Redeath. If you can find it somewhere because it keeps getting copyright taken down, watch it. It's an abridged. For those who don't know, it's an abridged series that came out before abridged series. It was shown at a con in the 90s.
You know, an abridged series of this might not be a bad idea, but that's for a later time.
Well, there are a couple of Evangelion abridged series.
No, not for Evangelion specifically, but Golden Age of Anime review, do an abridged series where we just do a bridge review thing. That'd be neat. But we still need to pick our Golden Age review for the next one.
Yeah. Also, I'd also like to say, I'm just gonna other 14 episodes we can do easy. We can also do movies.
Yeah.
So I think
pick ourselves one anime.
So are you going first or am I going first?
You go first on this one.
Okay.
I would need more time to pick one out.
Okay. I was thinking of picking Redline, but I figured you were gonna pick Redline eventually.
I mean, that is perfectly fine with me.
I
just watched Redline again the other day. So
well,
I'll watch it again and again. That was an amazing movie.
So I actually think, since this is one of the shows that killed the Golden Age, in my opinion, because people were actually becoming worshippers of the title character until a certain 8-episode segment. I was going to say, since we're going to split it into 2, let's do the first season of The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya.
You want to do Haruhi then?
Yeah.
I guess we could do that. That works.
Because that doesn't really have a genre, although it made Moe more acceptable.
So we'll start at the end, I guess.
Yeah, and then we can start working back to, older stuff.
That sounds like a plan. So I guess that'll just about wrap it up for today's episode.
So, before we do, let's just do the first season, even though it's out of order. There's actually the way they showed it. The second season was they went in canon order of episodes, so they do an episode of second season, episode of the first season, so that it all flowed chronologically.
Okay.
So we could just do the entire thing, because the second season shows the entire thing as one series. But that's longer.
Whatever works. I don't know anything about Haruhi, so this decision is up to you.
Yeah, let's go out of order in just the first season.
Okay.
And then we can go back into the second season. I don't want to subject you to Endless 8 yet.
I could deal.
I have a story about Endless 8, by the way.
I guess we'll save that one for next time, or the review.
Yeah, let's save that for next time. Or when we eventually do that. Alrighty, so this is Shep.
And Demyx.
Leave tell us how we did in the comments. This is the first time for us doing this, so we're probably bad. And see you next time.
Bye.